Hello and welcome to Buckman's Model Mania. Today we'll be working on stage 122 of the Fanhome Ecto 1, which unfortunately there's not going to be a whole lot to this because, for one thing, the car is so huge that it's really hard to get it in screen to be able to film it. So what this stage has in it, and give me a second while I find something to cut open the bag. What this stage has in it is the kick panels for the car. And after stage 121, where we mated the two halves of the car together, this is actually kind of a relief. Put this away. What we've got here is the four kick panels. They're made of photo etch, and it's going to be one of these things. Yeah, it doesn't say. That's interesting. I got somebody else's fingerprints on the back here, but it doesn't say which ones are which. I'm guessing that this is probably going to be the front. This is going to be the back. We'll sort that out. We have some RP screws and some AM screws. So let me get the parts out of the way. I'm going to bring the car over, change cameras, get the best angle I can, and we'll go from there. Okay, so here I've got the first one out, and I've got a camera positioned to where I can hit the side of the car. So the first thing you got to do, you can see that line there. You got to figure out something to where you can bend this part down before you can even try and put it on the car. I'm guessing that this is going to go right here inside the front door. Maybe, actually more likely, yeah, it's going to go right here in the inside the back door. Let me switch cameras so you can actually see that. It's going to go into this. Would help if I hit the right button. It's going to go into here, and you'll line up the screw holes. Now let's see what it says. It says place kick panel on the doorstep, secure with using, then fix the rear kick pan plate, and it doesn't say how to bend them. Having worked with photo etch before, what you're going to need is some sort of a straight edge, and you'll lay, like this ruler, you'll lay it down like this, and very carefully lift up on it. And I'm sorry if I'm off screen right now. I'm at the edge of my bench, holding it down, and I'm going to lift up carefully after I line up my straight edge. And it is steel instead of most fiber, or most photo etch is made of brass. This is made of steel. It's a little bit sterner stuff. And the key thing is you don't want to warp it when you bend it. So there is a relatively good bend. You can see it's a little bit off. Let me do a little bit of tweaking on here. So that should fit relatively well into the car. Hopefully the screw holes will all line up. So yeah, the screw holes are lining up. I'm going to go ahead and close the door for right now. I'll be back as soon as I bend all the photo etch, just so you can see the way it should look when you're done. Okay, so I've got the piece sat in there and sat in there, and the two for the other side are bent. And they're a little bit hard to work with because, like I said, it is steel. So as you install it, you're going to have to work with it a little bit to get it to look completely flat. And I'm not sure what I'm trying to think. I'm thinking, but I'm trying to come up with a tip, but I don't really have one. So what we're going to do here now is we're going to go ahead and pause the camera again. Well, no, let me see. I should be able to at least put the plastic screws in. And that's going to be using a one of the smaller screwdrivers. I believe there are 3 screws in each one. So let me get some screws out. And so the plastic is up here, the interior of the car. The metal is the frame of the body. That comes in, that's important because not only with the screws, but you're going to have to dip your screws into oil. You don't have to. I like to because it's better for them to cut the threads into the oil, into the metal. So you can see there, I'm starting the screw in. Before I get it all the way down, I'm going to go ahead and get the other 2 started. That way I'm not fighting to move the part while I'm trying to put screws in. That first one was a little bit tricky to get in. And there is one thing about the pieces. This one here is the only one that has a notch up there in the front corner. That notch is so that it lines up with that, not the corner of the box inside. Let's see if I can get this one in here. These screws are very small, and this is a little bit funky area to try and get into. That one's started. We move on to the last one on this panel. These screws are so small, and the area, like I said, is a little bit difficult to get into. So you have to if you don't have a magnetic screwdriver, they're not going to work very well. Get this last one in. I'm sorry, all you can see is my hands. Let me bring the camera over. You can see screw back in the back in the middle, and up there in the front corner. And you can see the notch that's cut out up in the front corner. We get these 2 extras that I got out back into the bag. Oil is right over here. Got it off camera. Sorry about that. You can't really see it. And these 3 screws, only got 3 out this time. Might need a bigger screwdriver to go onto them. A little bit of oil on there. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to start in the center. Okay, there it's biting. This one in the front is going to be interesting, to say the least, because you got a door in the way. So I'm going to do that one last. This one here in the back started. Let me see, is there an easy way? It should work okay. I should be able to clear the bottom of the door with the screwdriver and get the screw in there without any real major issue. So we'll slide the screwdriver up under here like this. Come up to this hole. See what I can do to thread it in there. And it is started. So I'm going to go ahead and tighten that one all the way down. One thing about the kick panels is the car was old in the movie regardless. So if they're a little bit dented, that's not going to be so bad. So there's one. And there is a little bit of play in the door, you can see there. Get this one in here. It's interesting working around the door because you don't want to warp it, bend it, break it, any of that. There's the second one. Let me get the third one in. That one actually I need to push a little bit. When I tightened it, it actually warped a little bit the metal here. Let's see if I can fix that with the blade, the chisel point blade. Looks okay. Go ahead and tighten that back down, but not quite as snug. And so you can see the kick panel is in there. So I'm going to do the other three and be right back. Just wanted to come back and show you how this one looks. You won't be able to see it once I turn the car around, but got all three of the screws in. This one here up in the very front was a little bit difficult, and I can see, but it is not visible on the camera. There is a slight warpage right here. That will be just fine because for the most part, the car is going to remain closed. So let me go ahead and get the two on the other side done, and I'll be back. Okay, I've got the kick panels in on this side. There's one. And again, the screw in the very far front was the farthest screw in the front, especially the one underneath where my finger is here, was a little bit difficult. And then there's the other one. The screw in the center on the plastic is a little bit dented in, but it looks fine. And those are the kick panels are now in. And that is all there is to do in this issue. Wasn't a hard issue, but it had some. It was a little bit tricky because you had to be careful of where you of getting the screws in, not losing them, and you had to actually cut the screw holes. One thing I have noticed as we go along with this build, now that it is together, this thing is a behemoth. It weighs a ton, and on the back here on the back and up here on the front, the two places that are easiest to grab it to pick it up and move it, the front bumper and the rear bumper, I feel them flex every time I grab a hold of them. So I'm trying to remind myself to always grab way up underneath the front and way up underneath the back when I lift the car, just so that I don't snap anything off. Car's coming together. Got the packs for the gurney. I actually stared at the packs for this issue for a few days, for almost a month actually, before I tackled issue one or stage 121. It was a bear. It took about 5 or 6 hours to do. Not that it's hard. It's just it's you need 4 arms to be able to do it conveniently and easily. But that's in the past. Cars getting done. Looking forward to the next packs that are coming. Can't wait to get her done, to get her completed and off the bench. A little bit of schmutz on the car. But with that, I'm going to call this a video and say thanks for watching. Hope you enjoy this. If you do, hit the like button, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to be notified of any time I post new content. Come on over to Hobby Time Modelers on Facebook, YouTube, and Discord to see what we're doing. We do the streams on Friday night and Sunday afternoon. Links will be in the links for Hobby Time Modeler on Facebook, Discord, and YouTube will be in the description. The link to get into to join the live stream as a participant rather than just watching it will be in our Discord. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Have a great day. Have a great day tomorrow. And I'll see you on the next video.